Hello, hello, hello. We are back again with another great live stream. It is Matic Mondays, and my name is Adrian, but they call me Travel Matic. And I have my wonderful co host here, Miss Tiffany Sports and Heels. What's going on?
Hello, hello, hello. What's going
Oh,
on?
oh, nothing much. Um, I wonder if my music is a little too loud. Sounds a little loud right now. But yes, but welcome back, all my returning people. We do appreciate you coming to support. And for the new people, definitely like and subscribe and share if you find this content useful for you. We talk about digital nomad, remote work, living abroad, transferring your skills if you're looking to get into IT or any other thing that falls under IT. We are here to help you. So welcome, welcome everyone. Um, and happy Black History Month.
Yeah, happy Black History Month.
Yes, you're excited about that. Okay.
Shut
Charge
up.
up. Yes, happy Black History Month.
I forgot.
Brother.
It's been a busy day.
I should have been playing some Public Enemy in this one.
Right. Fight the power.
Yeah, but I'll get copyrighted. So, but yeah, you know, cool. But the thing right now is, being laid off, man. It's hard out here in these streets, man. Even though they just said the unemployment rate is like the lowest it's been in 50 years or something.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know how true that is, but I may need to find that out actually. I just saw that because I think the president got a what you call it,
State of the Union. Yeah.
and they kept bringing that up, and I was like, they just like laid off a bunch of a while.
Maybe they don't count them people. Maybe they talking about in the Q4 numbers for 2022. They can't be talking about Q1 because they might have
yeah, there you go.
Q4 and
Yeah.
didn't release everybody in Q4 of 2022. But then in Q1, they're like, we laid down 10,000. We laid off 10,000 people, 8,000 people, 6,000 people. So yeah.
Yeah. He said in January, the unemployment rate fell to its lowest in over 53 years.
That's hard. That's hard to believe. But I don't know. I don't know where to get their numbers from. I mean, everybody I know is working, but it's not like everybody's not working for a livable wage. Let me put it like that. Maybe people are. I don't know if they're including people who just don't have a job. But to me, if you're not making a livable wage, and I want to stress that again, a livable wage, then you're underemployed, and you might as well be unemployed because you're not making enough even to live on.
Right.
So again, I don't know what they include. Is it just unemployed people? I mean, how many people are in the hospital or, disabled and unable to find work? Or how many people are those people are in the, military veterans who, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's interesting.
it seems like everybody, as far as mainstream, everybody, these large corporations are laying off an absorbent amount of people. And I think a part of that is, we're still in a pandemic and a lot of companies benefited from the PPP program, which was the payment protection program that the federal government issued during the pandemic. And a stipulation of getting those funds forgiven was that you had to have positions open, fill those positions, and then determine that they were part of the need for business, and then your loans will be forgiven. Well, we all know that those loans were forgiven, and as a result, you no longer need that workforce that you rush to hire to make yourself qualify for the forgiveness of that loan. So
Right.
I remember, especially on social media, that being a big push in certain industries, tech being one of them, to everybody get into tech. We've had some shows about it where we were kind of talking about how easy they made it sound to get into tech. And now
Mhm.
these large conglomerates are laying off 20, 10 to 20, 30% of their workforce in this same field. And we're seeing massive amount of layoffs in these areas. I mean, in the grand scope of things, I don't even know if I've ever worked. I have actually worked for a company that had that many employees. But can you imagine what it would look like to fire 6,000 employees like on the same day?
Um, what is that? Salesforce?
Salesforce, PayPal, Google,
Yeah.
Amazon.
There's actually a website you can kind of a few websites that you can look at the layoffs, and it's a lot of them. It's not really all tech as well. I seen like not Tesla, Uber truck. Is it the Uber truck one? I think. Um, they lay out like 150 or something people or something like that. Mortgage industry is really getting hit hard as well. Um, a lot of people are not refinancing or buying a home right now because the rates is high, mortgage rate.
Yeah, I mean, in the automobile industry, yeah, I mean, used cars in particular. I mean, you can probably get a good deal right now, but with everybody out of jobs, who wants to buy anything right now in this manufactured recession that we're having?
Right, right. I've thought about it too. I think a lot of it, the people that were laid off were the ones. Remember, we actually were promoting that. Was that customer success manager?
Yeah,
It was so. There's so many non-tech jobs in tech, and like the post I sent you the other day. I,
hmm
I think she was one of those non-tech and tech type. She claimed she was a product manager or something, but I doubted it. But they got a lot. They got rid of a lot of those young ones that I saw. I think in the market because everybody that I saw that was promoting stuff, they talking about they laid off now, and I'm like, well, you got enough time to do TikTok videos.
see, we're gonna agree to disagree on that.
Right.
If I don't think it's just necessarily the young ones, because what I personally saw was
No, young and tenured people who've been
very.
like
I
15,
think
20 years. Or
I
they're
personally
working.
know somebody who was with Google for like 15 years
Oh yeah.
and was one of those people who found out like through the grapevine that they were laying off a bunch of people. Like they didn't even find out from their direct manager. They didn't find out, they found out when they tried to log in that morning because they were remote. And they've been there at Google at 15 years. And not only that, they've gone out and recruited other people to come work at Google because they worked at Google. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Google who brought me to a tech conference on their dime for the Women in Technology conference. It was down in Houston. Yeah, shout out to Google for that. But I mean, they were the ones she was there for all that time, and she got laid off just like that. Job gone.
Okay.
And she was an engineer. Like these are engineers.
You just shot him. You just shot her. Shot Google out. And they just laid the girl off.
I didn't shout out Google. Well, I mean, they did do that. I did shout out Google, but I mean,
Shout out to Google for laying the girl off.
right.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. My question is, a lot of the times what I think what makes it more difficult this time is that there's not a warning. Like we knew that their market was having this shift, right, where workers were kind of demanding a little bit more um, from employers. Um, we knew that some kind of shift was going to happen because it wasn't going to be long before, um, these employers realized that they're going to have to do something, and it wasn't going to be in our favor because, let's be real. um, and so but some of these places were preaching to their employees, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. We're not a part of that. Everything's going to be fine." And then come in January, they make it through the end of the year, they make it through the holidays, and then January comes and they're like, "Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and let go about 10% of our workforce, and we're not even going to tell them. We're just going to shut their access off." Like, that's what I think is the most unusual part, because the layoffs I've seen and also been a part of is there's always some kind of precursor where they kind of warn people that, we're outsourcing, or this is we do these rounds of layoffs and we let go a significant number. Usually it's the first fired unless you're a standout star, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these feel different because there's so many of them, and the way they're being done. That's why I feel like this is different than anything we've seen before.
Well, I'm a little old, as you see my gray coming in and shit. Excuse me, pause. 2008. It was another time like before that. After that as well. I think 2012. There have been some times where it has to be something drastic in the market that kind of happens that way. But history repeats itself. This too shall pass, as they say. I know I wanted to. I know you sent me something too, a TikTok video that I was going to upload. You remember that TikTok you sent me?
Yeah, I sent you a couple.
Oh, you already sent me something already again?
I emailed them. Yeah, I did.
Today? Oh, hold up. I was trying to find mine, and I probably let me get this other one up though, because I do have that one.
Yeah, the first one. The first one I sent you, I don't know which one you're going to pull up, but
that's
the
the one with the girl with the scully on.
The
one you sent me last week.
Okay. Go ahead. Play that one.
So I should have had it up. Okay, here it is. There you go.
Having a conversation with an engineer who owns his own company and a developer, and we were talking about the tech layoffs, specifically Google's tech layoffs, and we ended up talking about this new piece of technology called ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an AI that understands natural language. So I can talk to it the way I'm talking to you and tell it to make me something. It'll make that thing. And if it makes the wrong thing, we'll have another conversation and we'll try again, and we'll just do that over and over again until it makes it right. So you can use ChatGPT to code an entire mobile app or write your dissertation. We ended up there because ChatGPT could potentially destroy Google. So right now, companies pay Google for data, but using a software like ChatGPT, they can get the data themselves and for free because it's open source. So ChatGPT became open to the public in November of 2022, and within the first 5 days, they have 5 million users. And just yesterday, Microsoft invested $10 billion into it. Microsoft just laid off a ton of people themselves. So to add more context to this, the engineer who owns his own company that I mentioned earlier has a client that recently laid off 10,000 people. The client then goes to the engineer and says, I need to hire 50 people that know ChatGPT. So this company replaced 10,000 workers with 50 people. We now have a piece of technology that exists that will allow 50 people to do the work of 10,000. The developer that was also there uses ChatGPT to not only do his job, he makes AI art with it, and he uses it to make models in Unity and Blender. Colleges are already starting to ban it because students are using it to do their homework. So what I'm really wondering is how much did this new piece of technology that will not only change the way that technology is made, it's going to change the rate at which it was made, how much it costs to make it, and how many people are needed to do it. How much did they play a role in these layoffs that just happened? When I say get into tech, I understand I don't care about your job or your money. Technology creates inequity. Like if this new technology had an impact on these layoffs, technological advance is only going to get faster, and we need to have people who care about equity and nature and the collective being a part of the creation of new technology. Anyone can get on ChatGPT and start making something. So yesterday I was having a
Yes, you go.
conversation.
So shout out to that creator who talked about that. And we haven't talked about Chat GPT yet. We haven't brought it up in the show. But I encourage you all to Google it and see what it's about. But basically, it's an AI, which is AI stands for artificial intelligence, and it's open source, as she mentioned. And basically, it searches what information is put into it. So everybody's kind of like when they created this AI, they dumped a bunch of information into it, and it's able to take that information and do anything you want it to do. So if you wanted to write a paper for you about, I don't know, Black history, you could tell ChatGPT, I need a 6-page in APA style paper about Black history from 1860 to 1910, including major laws and major incidents that impacted American history. Like it will literally spit out a 6-page paper, APA style, with that information. Now, that's the reason why she mentioned that schools are trying to ban it, because it has the ability to, because it's artificial intelligence, it has the ability to work faster than we can as humans. So it's moving a little bit faster than we are, and a lot of people are afraid of it. But a lot of people are embracing this new technology. So basically what she's saying is AI and tech specifically has allowed for you to be able to create code, solve problems, and do a myriad of things that are necessary in some areas of tech. Now, tech is broad. So for example, she mentioned product owner, product manager, I think is what she mentioned. And some of the functions of a product manager could probably be covered by some of the things that Chat GPT is able to do. So what do you think, Adrienne? Do you think the fast movingness of technology is going to have an impact on job market?
Yes. That's why I'm kind of glad you brought that up. Because I actually looked at a video on YouTube about Chat GPT, and I'm a little. I need to do a little bit more information in it. Get a little bit more information, because I really think it's just a form of Alexa on your phone or an app, or Alexa or Siri. Because no, a little bit of Alexa on steroids, let's say, or 2.0, because it gives you a little bit more. Siri gives you kind of like one-worded answers or whatever, but it's all machine learning and AI kind of blended together. But let me go to Tobias Travel. Let me welcome him to the show. I seen his channel before, seen him on a lot of other channels. And he says those who want to work in tech need to obtain the skills required to work in tech. True. Customer service jobs aren't actual tech jobs. That is definitely right. Some people pose as I work in Google, but you're in customer support. And then we have Mocha in the house. Thank you, Mocha, for coming through.
And to be clear, you can work in tech and be customer service. They just call it help desk. And whether or not y'all realize it or not, help desk is very much needed because there's a lot of people who don't know how to use technology.
Oh, yes. Yes. Actually, help desk is a great stepping stone for into IT.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we don't call it customer service. We call it help desk.
Right. Jobs don't have security. People do. We can't think that our roles are safe when working for someone else. You're right. And it's a great segue into what you were talking about with the Chat GPT and how the girl was saying that, like it's all ties together. The layoffs, Chat GPT, jobs don't have security, people do, right? So you have to diverse your skill. That's probably like number one when bouncing back from layoff is like skilling up. You know, you want to get new skills, and especially like in these IT jobs that just laid off. A lot of them laid off people for various reasons, but they kept some people too. The people that they still hired, like Google still hiring, even though they laid off people. Microsoft, Salesforce still hiring, but they're not hiring customer success managers. Hiring them engineers, they hiring them developers, they hiring those big data people. They need those people, people who touching that data, touching that them sandboxes and developing information. Developing a script in those sandboxes. They need those every day.
Yeah, and customer success is sales, and sales is always the first to go.
Right.
Now, no matter how they try to slice it and dice it, customer success is sales. You are selling and maintaining customers. That's what your goal is, to obtain new customers and upsell current customers. That's your role. And so you do whatever you can to keep those customers happy so that you're in a position to upsell to them. But it's still a sales position. And no matter what industry you're in, sales is always the first to go.
Right. And you just want to diverse your skills. You just want to keep adding. I think that's not even in IT, especially in IT, but not only in IT. You want to keep adding to your skill set because, you only as valuable as the program you made of the day or in my situation as the project I just came off. I'm only as good as the project that I just came off of.
Yeah.
So myself.
Go ahead.
I said myself, I'm what you call a senior business analyst. And some people would say, hey, you don't really need to do much, but I could be on the shelf as I am now, actually. So I'm actually skilling up in learning cybersecurity. So that's something new that I'm trying to add to my skill set so that I go into another project, I have that under my belt, What said you?
Well, what I was going to say is I had this conversation actually last week. And one of the things, since we're talking about how to bounce back, and we're talking about skills, I've been saying, I think I say this every show, and that's about those transferable skills. In addition to skilling up and learning additional skills, you really need to understand how your current skills transition or transfer to other roles. Don't be so stuck on your title or the titles of the roles that you are looking for. Be more precise about what the actual job description is asking you to do, and then correlate that to the skills that you already have. We've talked about this before. So if you've been coordinating, if you've been managing, if you've been scrum mastering, but not had the official title, you should still be looking for those types of roles because you have those transferable skills, that you can, if you can use. If you're in education, for example, then you can go into any of these companies and be on the learning and development team. You know how to come up with lesson plans. All you need to do is learn the content that you're going to be learning and developing for an organization. So that might be a chance for you to, if you want to break into tech, to learn about maybe Agile, for example, and you can be an Agile coach as coming from an education background. So I really encourage people for a second step is to look at your resume, look at what you've done, think about what you've done, look at those transferable skills, and then decide how you can add, which was Adrian's number one point, additional skills to your repertoire, which will make you a lot more marketable.
Right, right. Um, you got to put in the work, man. You got to put in the. I don't care how high you think you've made it in life. It's always something new, something fresh coming out that your skill may be a little outdated, or it's a little dull. It's not as marketable in the market. So always looking to add to your skill set is a big thing. This is the time you got free time. Go ahead and Udemy, and it's really cheap. Like I had a friend, I had a friend that my guy, and I ain't gonna put his name on. I'm gonna put his name. My boy Hez. He came to me about a $10,000. How like these boot camps or these like they're like university. They're actually university ran programs, but if you get like a Emory certificate, Georgia State certificate, and like data analytics, and they kind of costly. But you can go on so many like cheap or inexpensive websites, and don't have to spend that much. It's really about the real life experiences, the actual project that you can actually touch. And there's so many of them out there where you can just kind of just get like I'm looking in the AWS, and they have Cloud Guru, they have Udemy. You can actually get these. It's all open source, as that girl mentioned in that video. Open source people means like you don't have to have a license in order to get your hands on that software or that platform.
Right.
So a lot of these
or upload it or provide the content.
Right. So you can touch it and play around with it and have those actual projects underneath your belt, and that helps you in a few ways. To as I say, talking the talk. When you're in front of an interviewer and you're able to actually talk, like I can talk in project management talk, and they can understand that, oh, he knows about projects because he's talking the talk, he's using those buzzwords. And then two, it can help you with like a technical interview that you may have as well. They may have one where it's an actual panel interview, then they may have a technical interview where you have to actually go in that system, or you may have to theoretically give the script or the solution. How would you solve that problem in the platform? So it helps you out a lot, but it's not that expensive. I think myself, the most I paid for a class was about $400. Then that's like the most I paid for Teradata database class architecture. So it helps out.
Yeah, and I'm going to warn you during this layoff time, if you're trying to think about how can you bounce back, don't pay for anybody's ebook. That's how you can pound. Listen, I am a proponent of everybody getting their hustle on and making their money. So this is not to discourage those people who offer ebooks for a cost. If you find that it's going to be valuable, if you read the reviews and they've proven success, go. If you want to go for it, go for it. But like Adrian just mentioned, Udemy. He just mentioned that there are courses that are free. There are courses that are low of cost. Before you invest in someone's ebook, look at courses that might be available to you to help you. Right. Now's not the time to start investing in the next guru or social media personality that's offering you, sunshines and rainbows and dreams, because it's really not tangible. Where you can take a course and get a certification, and that's something that is very much tangible and recognizable in the labor market.
Yeah, because it's not like me back in the 90s. You have, like I gave you so many different resources, Udemy, YouTube, Coursera, Cloud Guru, or whatever lane you're trying to get into. And everybody is competing, and everybody's going to give their, Tom has how to get the ABCs from A, B to C, you know, and for the next DEF, you need to, you know, buy my course. But Ricky, he has DEF and how to get from A, B, and C. But if you want to know the rest of that, see, everybody got their little snippet that they're trying to market to you, and it's always different. But if you put them all together, you got the whole alphabet from A to Z. But they're coming in different segments. So you have to hop around to other courses. Other LinkedIn has an actual study platform. So there are all these different sources that you just hop on, get the little information you need, pay your little $10, $15. Even they have monthly subscription where you just do it for for 3 months. If it's $20 a month, you spend $60 and you get your content that you need, and then you go ahead and ace the interview or whatever. So you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to do this IT stuff. It's so much material out here that people are marketing to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big J, appreciate you coming through, man. Smash that like button, as he said. Mocha as well, greeting. And Mocha is Jamaican, right? Mocha's Jamaican descent, right?
Yes.
Or Haitian?
I want to say Jamaican.
Okay. Yeah, Big J is Jamaican as well. He's a yardie.
Mocha, tell us if you're Jamaican. I think you're Jamaican, right? I should be ashamed for not knowing this.
Razor raised.
I just know when I go to Miami, me and Mocha eat Haitian food because I asked for it. So that's what I eat every time I come to Miami. I don't know if that's all I eat when I come to Miami. And she eats it with me. So I'm assuming that it doesn't matter. But she'll let us know.
Right. And that's Mocha. We got
she's definitely Jamaican because she said Wagwan, brethren.
Chat GPT will not be able to replace product managers since our work is far more nuanced than trying to find existing data. Yeah. That reminds me, I need to the product manager I told you in Brazil that I wanted to bring on, I need to message him after the show. We probably have to have a product manager show. That'd be good. What does it take to get into product management?
Oh no, I'll let you know in 3 weeks.
But hold up, I thought you was gonna be a product owner?
Manager.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, product owner, kind of about the same thing. Almost. Customer, okay. Customer help desk are different roles. Yes, they are. They are different roles. We got Tiffany Poodle in Portland.
Shout out to PMP.
Yes.
Our Kansas City Chiefs will be competing in the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yes. She says good vibes. Yes, all good vibes. Payroll week. Get them people their money. All right.
And thanks PNP for the gift.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I see the gift. All right, appreciate that. She's always dropping that. She got 5 on it. She don't have 5 on it now.
Absolutely.
Tiffany don't have nothing else. She gonna have 5 on it. I got 5 on it. Appreciate you, Tiffany Poodle in Portland. I saw her on our guys the Wrap It Up show. With,
Tiffany has a lot of football knowledge. She needs to be on somebody's podcast because she has a lot of football knowledge, and she gave some great insights about her Chiefs last week when they were playing against the Bengals.
What show was she on?
She was on Chief Rocker Jersey Vern's Monday morning show. But yeah, she has a lot of football knowledge. Somebody needs to tap into that for real.
Being an agile coach, this is from Tobias the Traveler. Being an agile coach usually requires that one has the knowledge and experience working in an agile environment. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody talking about wanting for me to be agile. I don't know about that. I love agile though, really do.
I do too, and I've had agile coach opportunities thrown at me as well, but unfortunately, they want me to come into the office. So,
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah,
how that goes. Well, I need to come if I'm agile. What I need to come into the office for? You got a global team. Who am I coming to talk to?
yeah. But that's a whole other conversation there. Tobias to travel again. I appreciate your comment. He says buzz. I think he said buzzwords help until you are asked to provide an example of what you have done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
I was. That's what I was saying with. It helps in the various ways with touching the platform. One, it helps you to be able to talk the talk, and then two, it be like in the technical interview, it's kind of like what he's saying. They may give you a scenario-based issue with the platform, or it may tell you to write out a SQL script. You know how to join two tables and make them spit out an output. You know
Yeah.
how would you write that query or whatever. And I've had that tons of times. And you need to know that. And that can be kind of complicated because you don't know what database they're on. You don't know there's different syntax based on each platform. So, but if you know it, you know it, regardless of the syntax. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and that's true. That's why it's very important that you do that analyzing of your transferable skills. And when you're looking to add to your resume by obtaining a new skill, understanding part of that analyzing is understanding how what you know, what your knowledge base, and how what you know if you're capable of doing transfers into what you're learning about. So, yes, buzzwords will help you in your resume, but you have to be able to have done the analysis to understand how those buzzwords fit into what you've done in your previous experience and what you can do for an organization in the positions you're trying to obtain. Um,
Mhm.
so if I'm coming from, say, project coordinator, and I know all the project management buzzwords, but I'm not a project manager. Me being able to understand how what I've done correlates to project management and using those buzzwords is going to help me obtain my first project management role if that's what my desire was.
It works two ways too. It works because a guy I'm helping with getting into project management, like he was lost in the interview because they were saying buzzwords to him. Um, there are certain acronyms in project management that everybody should know, or like in what we call SLDC, software lifecycle soft SLDC. I'm sorry, software life development cycle. So you should know what CI/CD means: continuous improvement, continuous development, or continuous deployment. So things like that, if you don't know those, you can kind of just be like, and they tell you and tell me about CI/CD and how you implemented that in your last project.
And again, guys, when we talk about these buzzwords, don't get hung up on titles. Learn all the buzzwords because you really need to understand how things are kind of like connected, how work streams work, how they're interconnected, and how they interact with one another. So if you're learning all the buzzwords, it doesn't matter what your role is. I keep telling you, forget all about the role. Don't even care about the title of the role. What you're really paying attention to is the roles and responsibilities. What are you going to be responsible for on a day-to-day basis, and how does that correlate to other people that you'll be working with? If you're working specifically if you're working in a team, you might not necessarily be knowing those functions, but understanding those buzzwords means understanding what the definition is and how it's applied in the actual workday.
Yes, and Tobias has another comment here. Boot camps are great for roles like software engineering.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you can Google boot camps in my area or boot camps near me. Don't specific to what you're looking for. So if you want to do UI UX, like Tobias mentioned, or you want to do development, you want to be an engineer, you want to do video game, learn how to build video games or learn how to do apps, build apps or whatever it is in software dev or whatever. You can Google those kind of boot camps near me, and you'll find resources. Some of them will be free, some of them might have a fee. Meetup, there's a website and an app called Meetup. They do a lot of boot camps, are through, at least in my area, I'm in Ohio, but boot camps, a lot of them are in Meetup app.
Right. Any type of engineer or development role is good, because you need, the reason why you need to have that sandbox. And when I say sandbox, is like in layman's terms, it's a place where you can actually develop your code that's not in production. And you can have maybe some data or something that you can play with, some libraries if you're doing Python or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So a good sandbox that is open source. I'm gonna drop this gem on y'all today.
Yeah, drop the link too for it if you have it.
W3.
And maybe you could pull it up.
I'm gonna pull it up now.
Okay.
My old buddy from back in the day dropped this one on me. Which I anytime I got a SQL interview, which is a structured query language, which is called SQL. I jump into this site here to brush up on my skills, and like I said, it's a sandbox that has data in it too, and I can code in here. I can do a lot of different coding in here. It's called W3 Schools, and this UI is totally different from when I last been here. I guess that's tell you how long I've been in here. I have not been here. But it gives you over 15, 20 different
languages.
Yeah, here you go. So it gives you access to play around with all of this. HTML, if you want to do websites, if you want to learn about JavaScript and development. If you want to
this website again?
W3schools.com.
Okay.
If you want to get into big data, this is your Python, or this is more development as well too, and programming. If you want to, this is more of your big data over here. SQL, MongoDB, let's see here, XML, AI, if you want to do that. So like SQL, let's go to the SQL one. That's what yeah. Okay, yeah, this is how I remember how it looked. They just put a little different little UI in front. So you can go here, right? And all right, so you can go here, and so this is the sandbox. This is where I said you have like a place where you can come in here and you can play around. This is your database over here. Mm-hmm. These are your tables, and so basically they have this query already written out. So I can hit run SQL and then it will give me here, but I can do anything in this sandbox here. I can do from this table, categories, and it will give me it'll give me all the categories here. And you can play around here. You can do joins. You can do not a lot of deep SQL, but beginner, novice levels type SQL in this sandbox. And then let me back up here. It helps you like, it has like these exercises here, and it'll give you like a little quiz, and you can get like deep into all these commands over here. You can learn from update, delete, which you more like wouldn't have access to delete the table, but joins, you can do all your joins, your inner join. It will show you here. Just click on that topic you want to do, and you can play in the sandbox, and you can change the data. What you want to actually know. Well, yeah, you can play in that sandbox. Can I do another? No, I have to go back to the other table and play. But I can put this, copy that out, and paste it in the other table, and it'll give me that information.
Yeah, so it's important that in another thing to bounce back from a layoff that I would do is go on YouTube and look for people like us who are offering these sources of free or nearly free information to help give you something to do during the time that you're off, that'll help you in your career. It's really important that you find resources like the one we just showed that's going to help you transition into not only gaining new skills, but getting yourself familiar with some of those buzzwords in technology and being able to speak to it. As Tobias mentioned, it's not just knowing what those words are, it's knowing how they're applied in everyday life. So looking for free resources, videos, podcasts, and conversations about the field that you're interested in. Reach out to your network. I don't think a lot of us talk about what we do with our friends on a day-to-day basis, or we talk about our careers if we got to promote it, or I'm the regional manager, or I'm the product manager, or I'm the product owner now. But I don't think a lot of the people who don't work in your field know what you actually do. Start having conversations with your network, and find out what they do, and then you just never know what those connections will do for you. An example is I used a connection of mine recently, and things moved kind of quickly. So just don't be afraid to have conversations with people. Let them know that, hey, I was this is what my background has been. Do you know anybody? Do you know any sources or resources, any boot camps, any trainings, any certifications? I'm looking to get into this might be my direction. You never know, somebody might say, hey, have you ever thought about going into nonprofit, or ever thought about going into another area?
Right. UX design, I've been seeing as a hot digital nomad career field. Tobias just brought this one up too. Along with software development and product management will require hard and soft skills. Yes, definitely. I think a lot of IT roles definitely, more customer facing, will need more of those soft skills. Definitely.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
Yeah, because you can have some buttholes and customer facing people.
Yeah, customer facing, it's those soft skills, especially if you're numbers and color, those soft skills are gonna be, when you're interviewing, they're looking for your soft skills.
Right. Well, and also with hard and soft skills, you're gonna have to understand different cultures. I think that's a big thing. You got anywhere from Asian, when you're talking about Asian, you got Chinese, Japanese, Indians. And then you have these people called white people.
You got Europeans, and the European culture in Europe is different than here in the US. So there's different dynamics with that as well. A lot of your leadership might be from other countries. So it's important to have those soft skills when you start moving in a direction that gives you visibility to upper management, those executives, the executive management team, the decision makers. Those people are going to, those soft skills are going to come in play when you're dealing with people who are dealing with them, or you're dealing with them directly yourself, in addition to the customer. So it's not just customer facing, it's also your internal customer, which I always say that my customers are internal and external. So my internal customers are going to be the people who I report to, or who report to somebody above me. They're my customers. So having those soft skills are going to be pivotal in your success.
Yep. Mocha giving out respect to Big J.
I wanted you to. I sent another TikTok and one specifically
I didn't
from.
get. I
I
didn't
sent it to your
get.
email. It's in your email. It should be there now. I sent it twice.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Okay, so I want you to play the first one from Morgan because she's Blavities and Afrotech, and so she has some interesting. She has some interesting insight. So we talked about some of these major companies that are doing layoffs. So in your field, like in tech, there's like Google and Apple, and those are the major ones, right? But don't just look to those major corporations for your next opportunity. Look at some of the smaller markets, and I think that's one of the things she talks about.
You you gonna have to put it in the back chat or something. Cause I got the email, but it's blank.
Is it?
hmm
Okay. Let me go get it.
I'm sending it back to you. So you can see how it came through.
Okay, no worries. I'll send it in the back chat.
Let me go back through here. We got still some more. Project management, concept design is awesome. We got Tiffany saying, "Oh," then she said, "Go Chiefs." Very true on that. Tiffany, great sports knowledge. We got a guy Tobias again here. The product manager and product owner roles are different. The product owner is a subset of product management. They have nothing to do with setting the vision and strategy for a team.
Okay, I sent the two that I think are the most important, based on the time we have left.
Good points. Tobias. Yeah. We got Drees in the house. Drees TV. You can find him on Instagram and YouTube. Appreciate you coming through. We got Mocha again saying greetings. We got Sports and Heels. Yep, dropping that. Yes, Tobias got me straight with my tongue twisting. SLDC, I said SDLC. And we got Tiffany and Poodles, and we got King Tao. Welcome to the channel, King Tao. Appreciate you. Sequel Bolt. I'm not familiar with Sequel Bolt. I'm familiar with Peace. I think what PySpark is a part of. It's like a Python and SQL, yeah, I'm not familiar with SQL Bolt. All right, so let's get to what you sent me. I thought this was the girl that you had told me about the other day. Let me shut this down. And all right.
About the recent tech layoffs. I'm Morgan Devine. I'm the CEO of Afrotech, and Blavities Afrotech is one of the largest communities for Black folks in the technology industry. And I have a few things to say. First, let's get into it. I just want you guys to understand the full size of the technology industry. It is huge. It's the biggest industry and biggest employer in the country. So yes, these layoffs are a lot of people. There's a huge quantity of people, but it's still a relatively small small amount of the entire industry, like probably less than 4%. That's one thing. Two, companies are still hiring. I really want to make sure we're not, and I've seen this on TikTok, is people being like, maybe I shouldn't get into tech. And I really just want to make sure our community doesn't go backwards and avoid getting into tech because they're worried about instability in these tech companies. A lot of these tech companies are still hiring. I mean, Afrotech gets clients every day that are reaching out to hire diverse candidates, including companies that are saying they have hiring freezes. The world is restructuring, the world is rebalancing, but that doesn't mean that the tech industry is going to zero. And the salaries, the equity, it's high risk, but it's high reward. Most of the people who are getting laid off, especially those who are technical, are likely going to find a job in the next 6 to 9 months. And their severance was anywhere between 4 and 6 months, right? So a lot of them are going to wind up maybe with a few weeks where they're unemployed. I believe that the tech industry is definitely the place to be. Do not let all of the news and press releases and TikTok like make you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't learn how to code, or maybe I shouldn't learn how to do product marketing. Use this time to learn a new skill. Go check out things like Career Karma or Udemy and go gain a new skill and get the certifications in cybersecurity. There's so many incredible jobs out there. Don't listen to the haters. Focus on you and get this money. Let's talk about the recent.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play that, because again, she's mentioned the same things we've kind of mentioned, which is there are other fields and other things that you can do in tech that you, long as you're doing some additional education, adding some certifications, taking this time to, gain some more skills and doing an assessment of your own transferable skills, redoing your resume, and being more intentional about what you apply for based on the duties versus the job title, you could have some success. Listen, layoffs are hard for everybody, and after you get over the initial shock of it, you're probably wondering what can I do? And we're trying to give you some steps that's going to help you while you're dealing with the stress of being laid off. Now, she talked about 4 to 6 months severance. Not everybody gets that. Not everybody gets that. So we're trying to give you information that's going to help you immediately. Getting a certification, taking 2 weeks to do a certification class will help you immediately, right? You put that on your LinkedIn profile that you've got this certification. You could possibly see traffic coming to your LinkedIn profile because of it. So while some people don't have the luxury of 4 to 6 months, going on Udemy, finding courses, getting certifications, these are things you can do an hour a day and improve your chances of being reemployed.
Right. Yeah, let's break down what she said there, which was a lot of good things. And where the 4 to 6 months, like, you have to be working at a company for 10, 15, 20 years to get that amount of severance pay. Because usually it's like 2 to 3 weeks per year that you work there or something like that. So that's how that kind of breaks out. But I wanted her to dive a little deeper into, I wish she would delve a little deeper into like the importance of getting, like, it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the people that are working, they don't really get paid a lot. I mean, it's still a lot of people getting paid $12, $13, $14 an hour.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them look like us.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to kind of get into this whole Matic Mondays to talk about, like, it's not easy, but if you put the work in, you have a goal in mind, you can make it. That's why we had Kesey and his partner the other day, the other Matic Monday, to talk about getting into cybersecurity.
Yeah.
There's certain things that she was talking about. So like getting in those roles, and I sometimes, the customer success manager was a hot wave. It was almost like some of these other things that come that's trendy or whatever, but it's not going to keep you in the door. Like, you can be a sitting duck all day, every day. But if you touching the data, if you touching the client, if you're touching the platform, you got a high percentage of staying there. But if you're not touching those three, it's gonna be tough, and you're gonna get more money.
And I think what her message was, what she didn't say, and this is for all fields, not just tech, but I think the biggest takeaway I took from her video is you don't know what you don't know. And so if you don't know there's opportunities in mid to small organizations, you only believe that there's, because of social media, that you should shoot for the Apples and the Googles and the Amazons and the Teslas, then that's what you're going to pursue, right? But you don't understand that there's tech in healthcare. There's tech in sports. There's tech in marketing. There's tech in corporate. There's tech in retail. There's tech in, so there's so many. That's why it's such a huge thing that you can go into, and I'm sure that's for any other market, any other job. There are things that we don't know. That's why I said talk to people, talk to your network, talk to people talk to your people's people, and find out what they're doing every day, because you might realize that you're doing the same things with different titles in different fields. So you're able to switch fields. You don't have to stay in the field that you're in. Be willing to learn about another field and may find your next opportunity, or you might find your passion. You just never know. It might not be in the current field that you went to school for, or that you were able to get your first job in, so you just stayed in that field. Be open to different fields, and you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know what opportunities there are out here. And this is why I agreed to be a co-host, is because I felt like our people don't know a lot of opportunities that are out there for you in this field. And I wanted to be a liaison to help facilitate you gaining the knowledge to know, so that you cannot, if it's not for you, then maybe it's for your cousin. If it's not for your cousin, then maybe it's for your daughter. If it's not for your daughter, maybe it's for, your auntie, whoever. But it's never too late to connect someone or touch someone in a way that will benefit someone else. So.
Right. And it helps when you see people that look like you doing that, and letting them know that, like, oh wow, you can do it. Like, yeah, you can do it. I did it.
Yeah, we're regular. We regular in a month.
Oh man, I'm regular.
We regular. We not.
I didn't get it. Yeah, I got to give
Ivy League or nothing. We just regular people.
Right. I got to give a shout out to B Cloud developers. I got to get him on the show. He was giving his life, and I swear he had been looking in my window all of the last 15 years. He's from Atlanta, I believe. I'm almost from Atlanta. I've been here longer than I've been in South Carolina. But guy was just going through the same thing. And did I tell you I met up with my mentor, my first mentor? I met her last.
From Verizon?
No. I need to holler at her too. But my first, like you saying, like, if you don't know, you don't know. I did not know nothing about project management up till 2013. And shout out to my ex-wife. That's the only reason why I knew her, or got to know her, or whatever, because it was her friend. And she was like, hey, you ever thought about getting in IT? And I was on the phones. I was answering the phone like, thank you for calling.
Nice. He was working customer service.
Yeah, I was working customer service, making $15 an hour in 2013. And she says, you ever thought about getting a project manager? I'm like, what's project manager? And I'm like, yeah. And I really was brushing off, like, thinking like, is that another customer service role or whatever? And she says, there's not a lot of black brothers in it, and I'm like, man, yeah, but how much they talking about? And she was like, well, to be a project manager, you can get about $80 an hour starting. I said, what? Tell me more about this. And she didn't really she was the one that turned me, said, go that way. And that's all I need, really. Anything I've done in life, you just point me in the right direction, I'll figure it out. and that's where the lady from Verizon came and other people on the path. But she was the one that turned me, said, "Hey, the money over there," and I went that way, and I ain't looked back. And I had not seen her since that time, since like 2013. And I called her out of the blue, and I said, "Hey man," I keep telling everybody it's because of Yolanda I'm in IT. And she was like, "You still?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a Scrum Master, VA. I got like 5-6 certifications." She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "We need to hook up." And we hooked up, and with her and her husband and Kennesaw. They took me out to dinner. And we had an excellent. Her husband was like, "I ain't never heard her talk this long before. Like, we need to go. Like, y'all been talking all the." I said, "I'm sorry, guys. Like, when you get in that project manager talk, man, you could talk."
Yeah.
All night on project management. So but let me play your last.
And I was gonna say I didn't come into IT. I didn't come out of college going to IT. I didn't get my degree until pandemic in 2020 is when I finished my college degree. But I started off as a temp, as a executive assistant temp, and I just scratched my way and learned more. I was working at a software company as executive assistant. And a consulting company. And I learned as much as I could because I knew I was there for a short time, and they wound up loving me, and doors started opening for me. And I mean, I was making $12 an hour when I first started there as a temp. So, and I was only supposed to be there for 3 to 6 months. And they hired me on after 3 months, and I was making, I think, like $30,000 a year at first, and that was like in 08, I can't remember, 08, something around that time. So
I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing you'd be on another level with coming from $15 an hour to where in my field, in my domain, if somebody comes to me and say, if somebody says $45 an hour, I'm like, I'm disgusted, actually. I'll put it that way. I'll put it that way, but that's only because I put in the work. Like my guy, Black Cloud Developers. I'm doing projects on Friday night. Like that's
Friday night, 3, especially if you're working for a global company, doing 2 a.m. Implementation calls.
Saturday morning, Sunday morning,
all weekend,
doing projects, studying, going on Udemy. Back then I had like notepads with all this stuff on the side, and I'm talking about like countless hours of work I put in.
Paying for your own certifications and not getting reimbursed. Listen, we've been there.
Telling you,
it pays off.
It pays off. I can turn. I turn out. I don't. In the past 3 months, I'm on the shelf right now. I done turned out 3 offers that were 6 figures, pretty much, because they were low 6 figures. Because I can get more, and you don't have to. And I'm just getting unemployment, but you can save so much money to the side to where it's just like, man, let me go on a trip. I'll be back. They blow me up on your trip. They call me. Is this Adrian? Are you open to? No, man. I'm on vacation, man.
Stop it.
I when I get back.
I really want to, and not to mention, which we haven't even mentioned this show, which I can't believe we haven't mentioned. Not to mention, another benefit of this is if you've been working in the office and you got laid off, how can you bounce back? Look for a remote job. Look for a hybrid job. I'm not a fan of hybrid. I'm a fan of 100% remote. But look for those jobs and look outside of your regional area. I live in Ohio. I do not apply for jobs in my regional area. The roles that I'm looking for are going to be somewhere else. That way I can kind of guarantee that I don't have to go in nobody's office.
Right.
So be willing to go remote, and that's going to open. We can talk about the benefits of remote working if that's your thing. Some people like going into the office, but if being remote is your thing, then investing in yourself by increasing your skills, getting certifications in whatever field you're interested in, is going to make you more marketable for these higher paying roles. That's going to open up and change your lifestyle a little bit for whatever you want to do. I'm a giver, so my lifestyle is giving and loving on my family and friends in a way that they may not have been able to have before. But it also means taking care of myself, so when I get older, that I'm in a position to be okay. So with inflation and things going up, the cost of living going up, layoffs can be a really difficult time, but we hope to encourage you to find the strength to pivot and change directions and invest in a little bit more of what you want for your life outside of work. And that might mean changing careers or gaining some new skills to put yourself in a better position. And this is a great video to show about how you need to start thinking about what you're looking for as far as roles and how to do your research for acquiring your new roles.
So yesterday I posted a video saying that if you are a job seeker going into 2023, we're going to be doing things differently, and we're going to look at the job search and job seeker life cycle the same way recruiters do. Recruiters have a funnel just like sales do, where they put most of their work and their emphasis on the top of the funnel, because the more numbers you have at the top of the funnel will mean the more numbers you have at the bottom of the funnel. So for recruiters, the top of the funnel is finding candidates, sourcing candidates, and reaching out to candidates, whether that's on LinkedIn or job boards or the ones who apply in the ATS. Your top of funnel for the next week is going to be focused on getting your resume right. So what I want you to do is use a few tools to get prepared, so that way when January 3rd comes around, you are ready to start applying with the best resume possible. Here are a few steps I want you to take to make sure you can optimize your resume the best. One is going to be using Teal. I talk about Teal a lot because it really has helped myself as well as the clients that I work with land jobs, because it gives you a lot of data that you can use to make sure that you're doing the work in the funnel. Number two is going to be JobScan. JobScan compares your resume to the job description, and it's free. And it lets you know what keywords you're missing for your resume to come up higher in a recruiter search. Number three is my new favorite tool, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a free AI tool, and it can literally make your resume for you. I have a video on that already on how I used it to make or better my resume, and you can also use it to tailor it to the jobs that you're interested in. Your homework for the next few days is to get a resume, an optimized resume, so we can start applying come January 3rd. If you haven't done your resume yet, you're a little behind, but that's okay. That's why you're here. So we can get it together, so that way we're not behind come January. We're not being behind in 2023 anymore.
So big shout out to, her name is Maddie Machu on TikTok. I follow her on TikTok. She is a recruiter and offers some great advice for helping you land your next role. Her advice is not wrapped up in ebooks and stuff like that. She really does give great tutorials. They're quick videos on TikTok, maybe 30 seconds to 3 minutes long. But we have to get out of the old mindset of how to apply for jobs and kind of keep up with how these recruiters now are being taught to find resources. So that means you're going to have to take your resume and really cater your resume to the roles that you're applying for. That means you can no longer only have one resume, folks. You got to be able to manipulate and cater your resume toward the roles that you are applying for, which is why I said don't get caught up on titles. Pay attention to the roles and responsibilities, because that is what's going to help you be noticed and stick out by recruiters. So she offered some really great resources. She offered 3 free resources. It's important that you invest time in updating in this time that you have off. How can you bounce back? Update your resume, have more than one resume, make sure you're using the correct resume when you're applying for these roles, and cater the resume according to the roles that you're actually applying for.
Yep, all that good stuff. I like Maddie's information. She had good stuff in there. Get your resume together, put it on these. A lot of people actually don't use a lot of these search engines like Indeed and there are jobs there, and then you can put your resume out there for recruiters to find your resume. So Dice, and especially in IT, who I like the most is Dice, Monster. Of course, have a LinkedIn profile. I think 80% of my leads probably come from LinkedIn, and I use Career Builder sometimes.
I'm okay with Dice and LinkedIn. I don't tend to use Indeed a lot, but if you're low to mid-level resource and you're not a senior resource, I would highly suggest Indeed, LinkedIn, and Dice. Yeah.
I like Monster too. And actually, this is a little hack that I use sometimes and I accidentally did it and I didn't realize I was doing it, but it gave me a lot of information. Because people would say like, "Oh, you were, are you still at Verizon?" I'm like, "Verizon? What I'm like, where did you find my?" They're like, "Oh, I found it on Career Builder," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I would start asking people that, like, "Oh, how did you find me?" And they'll say where they found me at. And so I would kind of keep a mental tally of like, well, this is kind of hot for me. This is kind of, I found a hot spot because a lot of people from Monster have reached out to me because they'll be like, well, I don't need your resume. I had it on Monster. I got it off Monster or whatever. So kind of look at that too. Once people start calling you, we kind of figure out like what's working for you because what works for me may not work for somebody else.
That's very true.
So yeah, just kind of test the waters out there. A/B test, as we call it in IT. Well, yeah, we're over.
Are we over already?
Yeah, man. We get to talking about this IT.
We just want to help the folks out.
Huh?
I said we get long-winded because we really want to help the folks out, man.
Yeah, especially in this time. It's the second layoff show we done had. I did have something.
Shout out to BS3 who just joined us.
BS3. Oh man, I forgot to do my promo. I'll do that at the end. Wow, where was I at? It was a good little website. We done kind of went over a lot of the stuff for us. It was just talking about the layoffs and how to bounce. Okay, here we go. Bouncing back from the layoff. Here we go. Just a little article I saw. I thought it was pretty cool. Quickly before we leave here.
Okay. There's no Monday Night Football, so we got a few extra minutes.
Yeah. We off right now till till this weekend. How to bounce back from being laid off. They have here working on your mental health and emotional well-being.
Oh, we didn't even touch that.
We kind of touched it a little bit because it's a shock. It's like you're saying here, losing your job is a traumatic event for anybody.
Yeah.
The young ones, the Gen Z that got pushed out, going back to their mama house, and the person who did it.
Stop that.
15, the one that was 15, 20 years, but they got to be pushed to retirement.
Yeah.
They're making so much money, and they're like, nah, we got to get you out of here.
Or they ain't been in the market in 10 to 15 years. It's different now. It's different. Every time you go in, it is different.
Right. That's being very comfortable, in something like that.
Yeah. That's a lot of responsibility you get rid of.
Right. They trying to fill out an application. Like, well, I fill out you won't fill out an application. Just go online and put your LinkedIn on there. What is LinkedIn? So yeah, work on your mental health and emotional well-being. Because people can get in a little. People can panic. We always living beyond our means, and you got to cut back that Netflix subscription, and you thinking you got to cut up everything back. So yeah, you're gonna get some rejections, and you know,
Can't let it get you down. You got to keep forging ahead. That's why I said doing the things that we talked about in this show is going to help you stand out and could contribute to you getting less rejection. But you're going to be rejected. You just might as well get that ready. Somebody gonna tell you no.
You're gonna get rejected, and you know, I always say, "What's for me is for me," and regardless of who is in the way, that role is for me is for me.
Yeah.
So, you know what? You got in this time. Cause see, a brother like me, no, because I work contract, I know about being laid off and let go or whatever. So, in that time, in that downtime, that's when you get into what you need to get into. Because it's so hard to get into it once you're working. You got to work. You may have some kids. You may have a wife or a husband, and you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get to it when I get to it," and you never get to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that getting into something that you're supposed to get into while you're laid off, it'll help you out a lot with keeping your mind off. You know, not getting the call, or you didn't get the call, or certain things. So, hiring managers want.
Go ahead.
Hiring managers want positive people, not complainers. If you carry the resentment bag to an interview, it won't go over well. Interviewers are attracted to positive, enthusiastic, motivated candidates. I want to say, especially for Black and brown people, we have certain stereotypes that are pushed upon us, and you have to debunk those from day one, because you only have one time to come in front of a person. They say the first impression is a lasting impression. And so you want to come with a bubbly energy, even if the interviewer does not come with a bubbly.
Because they will be dry as hell. So listen, be yourself. That's the most important thing I can tell you is be yourself, but understand who your audience is. And understand who your audience is 99% of the time. This is why Tobias mentioned soft skills. This is where your soft skills are going to shine, is using your soft skills during these interviews to allow yourself to be yourself, show your personality. Nobody's asking you to be imposter syndrome and put on a fake personality, right? The voice that you guys hear on the podcast is the voice I give them. I don't change my voice for an interview. No, I'm not doing that. You know, I'm just be yourself, because being yourself is going to make you more confident, and that confidence is what you want to, especially when you're talking about the role that you'll be doing, and how you can be a benefit to that organization. That confidence is what's going to help you in that interview. But delivering it in a way that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm also excited about interviewing with you, but I'm also being myself, it's a delicate balance. But if you know how to be yourself, you'll be all right.
Man, I'll use them I'll use them colonizer words in a minute on you now. Cool. Awesome.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I will awesome your ass to death. What? They be like, well, how does that sound? Awesome.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Absolutely.
Hey, man.
Kick ass. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, when the recruiters call, boy, I be hitting them with that. They be like, oh, okay. They be like,
Oh, okay.
They like, I didn't think you was gonna be this happy. Like, yeah, I knew. Looking for a job is your new job. Yep. Oh, boy.
Which means you can't put 30 minutes. We talked about this. It's hard. It's work. You got to them certifications. You got to take a 2-hour class, an hour a night. You might have to take a 2-hour certification exam. You got to study for that exam. You can't be hanging out with your friends every night. Like, I got to try to find me a job. Like, yo, you got to put in the work. It's your job now.
Yeah. And don't. I read through the whole thing here, but this really stuck out to me. Put together an elevator pitch, practice role playing, commonly asked interview questions. I don't really do the, like business analyst questions or something, Scrum Master questions. I'm a little bit more advanced, just over the years. But they do help. But the best help is real life getting in front of recruiters. Like the more you get in front of these recruiters, the better you'll get. Sometimes they give you back feedback, and sometimes they don't because they don't. The feedback is that they went with somebody else. But the better you get in front of people and practice, which is practice, or you can do real life scenario when you're in front of a real recruiter. But you got to get into it. You got to get comfortable. You got to be able to control that interview. You got to be able to like you grabbing the interviewer by the horns and you're dictating how the actual interview is going. Because they could take you for a ride and you just like sweaty palms, you're nervous, you're stuttering, and lost it. But if you can take control of the interview and get them to get to your sweet spot, because you may be lacking in SQL, but you're better with the people, you're better with the platform. Being able to take them off SQL, being able to take them off that certain platform you have no idea about. You have to kind of master that. And that's where the elevator pitch comes in.
Yeah.
In that part. Next, the practical logistics. Although your emotions will run high, don't sign a severance or other agreements without evaluating them appropriately. This is kind of like before. So get everything you discussed at the exit interview, which is good stuff. Good stuff. Staying active. That's good too.
Yeah.
Good too. I get out here because we work remotely. I just went to the park yesterday and jogged around there for like about 20-30 minutes.
Yep. And I meet my trainer twice a week. I work out with my friends on the weekend, and on Mondays I have a stretch session where I'm getting stretched for the week. So it's amazing, and life changing. Life changing.
Calm down. Calm down.
Shut up! You always going there. No, it is really great, especially.
No, I know. I mean that stretching.
When you're a woman of a certain age, you start your hamstrings and your quads and your hips get a little tighter than you used to them being tight. So going to regular stretching really helps with my recovery from all those workouts during the week. So it's a great thing to add if you can afford it.
Yes, because stress kills, man. This being laid off can be stressful. Can impact your body, your back, your everything, and it can really just mess you up mentally.
Yeah. Surround yourself with people who are pouring into you, encouraging you to stay active and do all the things. Taking care of your, self-care is a real popular buzzword right now, but really do invest in what will make you feel fulfilled during this time. Maybe it's a hobby, but find something that's going to it's not just about looking for a new job. Being laid off is an opportunity to pivot in a way that maybe you haven't done before, and invest in yourself, not just in your career but yourself personally. And what does that look like for you? So I encourage you to really take care of yourself. Find a yoga class or therapy to help you through these times, but don't just rely on, or sit and wallow in self-pity. It's not your fault you were laid off. It's the company's fault because they mismanaged their money.
Right.
And they like to make more profits for their investors. That's just how it is. And you're just a casualty and a byproduct. That's the way our society is set up. So don't take it personally. But it is difficult. So I can't tell you how to manage it. What I can tell you for you, what worked for us, what we've done, and how we've been successful in our own transitions.
Right. And along the journey, stop comparing.
Oh yeah.
Stop comparing. When I say comparing, because y'all was a crew. Y'all was the A floor crew. Y'all was in there. Y'all got laid off. Y'all gonna be talking and stuff after y'all got laid off. Such and such going this place. They going to take the kids volleyball. But Susie just got hired on at such and such company. Oh, Tom just got hired on such and such company after being off for a month from layoff. I'm sorry. You still at the house.
Yeah.
Stop comparing. Stop comparing. Put your blinders on. Congratulate Tom. Congratulate Susan. Keep your head down. Keep working. It's gonna come.
Yeah. What's for you, it's for you.
What's for you, it's for you. But you got to stop comparing. Stop looking to your left and your right, and be. I just saw that today. Actually, when I was thinking about that, be happy for people who've gotten the same thing first before you. Is what.
Yeah.
Be happy for them.
Yeah.
Be happy for Tom. Be happy for Susan.
Still be a good person, people. You can still be a good person in the midst of your storm.
Like Susan, she never came to work. I don't see how she didn't even got half the experience I got. Tom, that joke ain't no nothing.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to do that, but understand people of color get roles differently than we get roles differently sometimes, y'all, and that's just the reality of it. And so you can't not comparing is going to keep yourself from beating yourself up for something that you don't have no control over. But we're telling you what to do. We're telling you, no matter what your background is, that you have opportunities available to you. It's just going to take some investment. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some consistency. It's going to take some dedication, and it's going to take some reality checks. It's going to take some reality checks, which all this could be a good thing. You know, I was laid off for a year before I got a role, but wind up what I thought was going to be in my first 2 weeks of that year was panic. I panicked for 2 weeks, but then after that it was, I need to reach out to my resources and find out what do I need to do. And it was Adrian who told me about these courses I could take, and find out if they had this program in my city and this and that. And I wound up taking certification classes, and the next thing you know, I'm back in college and this and that. And it just, there's things that can happen for you. So you just have to be open to the journey, guys. Just be open to how this journey could ultimately change your life.
That's another gem you just dropped. I don't know if they even have that thing again. What Tiffany is talking about, it's called Workforce Investment Act, and they have that here in Georgia. It may be a little different from other states, and when I was laid off, actually just kind of helped me to get into IT as well. Workforce Investment Act is it was an act when President Obama, was in office. 2014. Yep, the next year. I was laid off in 2013 from Sprint, being on the phones, and they will give you $5,000 to go back to school, like more like trade schools, like plumbing, HVAC, electrician. And when I saw the on this page, it was something a little different in this. It was like I was like, now what if they have project management? And so they have like a whole little side for project management, business analyst, tester. They have like other specialties like SAP and software developer. And so you apply for it, then you find the school that you want to go to. You can actually go to like we have a Georgia State, Kennesaw State. You can go through that actual college, and it has to be accredited through this program, which most colleges are accredited. But I went to a little mom and pop type facility that had Indian guy. Went in there, told him I wanted to get into project management, be a project manager. He that was another pivotal guy too in my career, because he kind of put me up on game. And then like these Indians, they know IT. So he showed me the game, and the rest is history from that point. But they gave him the $5,000. They sent it to his school to pay him, and they gave me a book, gave me the PMBOK book, which is a project management book of knowledge. And they paid for the tests and all that stuff. So I think it's still in play. This is the actual federal program. It's called WIOA.
Yep.
So I'll put this in the chat too.
And
so
I can confirm Ohio still has WIOA.
Okay.
And that's the program I went under. And they had some qualifications. You had to be unemployed. You had to have a resume. They made you go through steps. They made you get your resume together. They made you post your resume at certain places. You had to talk about what you were interested in. So you had to decide like what field you were interested in. And they sent me to a school here that offered the certifications in the field that I was interested in, which obviously is tech and project management. And I took several certification courses through them because I was able to take more than one. That after I finished all of those certification classes and got those certifications, that encouraged me to go back and try to figure out what I needed to do to finish my college degree. And I started school, finishing my degree 30 days after it was 30 days after I finished my last certification class. So, I mean, it was the driving force, me taking those certifications, to me going back to school and adding something else.
Yeah, so you was able to get your degree, and no, you paid for your degree though.
Yeah, I paid for my degree.
Okay, but
I got grants so when you go back to college unemployed, you can get Pell Grants to help you supplement the cost of going back to college.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't pay full price because I got Pell Grants.
Okay. Yeah, good. Another gem. You just had them gems just stashed away. I forgot all about them.
Because I forgot about them. This is why we have to have these conversations, so these things we can help y'all. There's things you can do, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
We're here to let you know.
Well, we don't have nothing else to let them know about. We all out. I'm all out.
Yeah, we way over.
Yeah, ain't no football on that, so like that. Yeah, I think that's it. Who you got in the Super Bowl?
We got a hometown boy who plays for the Chiefs. He's a rookie. His name is Brian Cook. Shout out to his mom and his family. He's a product of Cincinnati Public Schools, went to Mount Healthy High School, and he also went to the University of Cincinnati and is a standout rookie for the Kansas City Chiefs. However, and Travis Kelce, who also played for University of Cincinnati. However.
Yeah, they beat y'all Cincinnati boys up there. You need to go for the Chiefs.
Shut up. However, I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts, man. I'm rooting for the Eagles. You gotta love his story. He's an underdog. Nobody's giving him a chance. I mean, they love the Eagles because the Eagles were great, but they really ain't liking Jalen Rose. They really don't give him the credit he deserves. So I'm rooting for Jalen. He's an underdog. Plus, he got a black female sports agent, and she's the first black female to
And
have
he has a black
quarterback
girlfriend.
in the NFL in the Super Bowl. So anytime somebody picks a woman sports agent, that's my player. So that's gonna be my player for the Super Bowl. So that's what I'm going after. Because you talking about IT being hard for women. Before IT entered my life, guys, I wanted to be a female sports agent. I thought I was going to be a female sports agent representing other female athletes because I was an athlete in high school and college. So I thought that was what I was going to do. Obviously, that's not what happened. But yeah, Jalen, I'm rooting for Jalen. Who you got?
Yeah, she dropping them gems. You didn't even know she wanted to be a sports agent. Yeah, I love the underdog story too, man. I'm the underdog still to this day. So, but I was a little torn because I won my fantasy championship with the defense of the Eagles and the quarterback. Mahomes was my quarterback. So
Oh, really?
Mahomes and Kelsey. I was killing them.
Yeah, especially them two.
I was killing them.
I don't know. I think the Eagles are a powerful looking team. Although the Chiefs look good, I see a lot more holes on the Chiefs than I do for the Eagles. The Eagles to me just look very powerful, very they're exciting to watch. So
Yeah.
plus
So-
Jalen Hurts is fine. Let me just say that. That is a nice piece of man candy right there.
You don't like Mahomes? You don't like the mulatto Mahomes?
I ain't nothing wrong with Mahomes. He's a nice looking guy, but Jalen is more my speed.
All right. Okay, yeah, no excuse. Appreciate you coming in, boss. Another YouTuber there. Great channel. All these years I've known you, Tiffany, didn't know you laid off for a year. But she be stacking, man. She still be balling, man.
Don't listen to them now. I don't stack or ball. I don't believe in stacking or balling. I am loyal. I'm a loyal person.
Right. Loyal to that money. Yep, sure whether she get certification. Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's it. 42 minutes afterwards. I appreciate everyone coming on here. It's been a great show, man. I was trying to figure out how it was gonna come through. We was gonna have enough to talk about, and we was talking as always.
Thank you to our studio audience or our chat audience who offer some great insight, especially Tobias.
Yes.
We appreciate your insight, brother.
Yes, I appreciate you, brother, and everyone else who came through. But that's it for us. You will see us again in another 2 weeks, and I think we're going to probably. I was telling y'all that the young lady that was in China and Turkey, I'm gonna hit her up. I wanna probably talk to her.
She's not in Turkey right now, is she?
No. Didn't they have like an earthquake or something?
Yeah, prayers for those in Turkey. There was a massive earthquake, and they know that thousands of people, a lot of infrastructure collapsed, and there's thousands of people. So prayers for Turkey. There's a lot of digital nomads that live in Turkey. I saw a couple come up on my For You page on TikTok. There are also a lot of basketball players and who play overseas in Turkey. One a hot spot for overseas athletics for U.S. athletes, but global athletes together. So prayers to those who are in Turkey and those family members that are affected. Our hearts and prayers are with you.
Yes. I think because I don't be watching, I'll be heading down into videos and stuff. So
yeah,
I did see that, and I thought it was old or something. So I have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, somebody dropped in. Oh, thank you, Mocha. Take care, Mocha. We appreciate you.
Happy Black History Month.
Yes. Go out there and go to an MLK near you or something, and just be safe out there. Any MLK you on, well, you got to have your chopper and your vest on. But all right, see you, Tev.
See you, Adrian.
All right, take care.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.